Uh-huh, huh. Ha 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 ha. Oh, mm. Let's take a sip out of our positive vibes Care Bear mug cup thing. Hey, welcome to Get Wood. My name's Jess Wood. It is, I feel like today I'm dressed like Jess Dierte. Do you know Joe Dirt? I'm his sister, Joanna Dirte. Dierte. Got got the tatas flowing, got the shirts and the hats and the stuff. Anyway, what's happening? Oh, it's Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for your favorite show in the whole universe and world. It's the 30 some odd minutes of some odd stories from Get Wood, your friend Jess Wood here. Let's sing. I'm not picking my nose. I'm just itching my remember that Seinfeld? It was do we if we pick, do we not bleed? Um Big Bird, Sesame, Big Minge Energy, Rat-a-ta-ta-ta. That's a 9 mil melody. Bam, and you say, God damn, this is a dope jam. Clackety, clackety, clackety necklaces. Rat-a-ta-ta-ta. This is a dope jam. What happens after that? I'm broad, I'm broad, I'm broader than Broadway. Yes, I'm broad, said I'm abroad, and I'm broader than Broadway. And I'm diddling, 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 diddling. I hold it open really wide, and then I diddle it, diddle. It's true, myself, and it feels so good. I hope you're diddling a lot. Your sauce will mix with ours, and we'll make a good goulash, baby. Oh, yeah. What time is it? It's time for your favorite show. I said it earlier. I say it again a couple more times. It's Get Wood. And hi. Hello. It's your pal, Jess Wood, aka Joanna Dierte, today in this splendid. Well, excuse me. What is Hollywood all about? Spaceballs. Merchandising. That's my I don't know why I had to lean back. I lean back. Something okay. So a fluff just fell through, but it fell past the camera and it looked like American Beauty. Do you remember with the rose petals? That was very What's happening? Is it coming back again? This is very psychedelic. Friends, family. I don't This doesn't usually happen, but we'll take it as a sign from the goddesses. Hello and welcome to this week in wood. How are you? Yeah, yeah. How are you? Are you okay? We're at war. How's anybody? Where things are have Cuba. We can't. That's why I come here today. Your Honor, I come here today stating my case of silliness and a little break from the bullshit outside, right here, right now, grounded in art and creativity, love and anti fascism, reality, authenticity, and fuck AI. No chat GPTs were used to make this titty. And thank the Lord. Ha! Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody from last week's show who commented, who sent me stuff. I want Miss Poles. Miss Poles gets an honorable mention this week because she was a four-time listener. Last week's episode, she said, This episode is a four-timer. It's a four listening episode." And that to me, if I can bring you that's 4 times 30. I can't really do math, but I think it's like close to 2 hours of laughing and guffawing and hopefully screaming a little bit and yeah, and going, yeah. That's what I want. At least out of your week, we can have. We're allowed to have 30 minutes to at 2 hours to enjoy ourselves. Also, I talk about this once in a while on the show, but I'm gonna talk about it more because I myself am thinking about this now. There was a young comic that I met like a year or two ago, and he asked me what my day job, survivor job was. And I said, "Oh, I'm over at this job doing bartending still, but I don't really want to." And then I had my whole little story to go along with it. Well, he said, "How many nights a week do you bartend?" And I said, "2." And he said, "2?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, what do you do with the rest of your time?" And oh shit, What the fuck? I was faced then with that question. What the fuck do you do with the rest of your time? Even if you're in a full-time job, even if you're in a full-time job, and I've done full-time before, and it's such an exhausting situation. However, there are those hours that we have that are free. What do we do with them? And yes, a lot of people talk about doom scrolling. Now, I don't know about your algorithm, but my algorithm is just chock full of cake makers, nail techs, weed taker awares. Do you follow the lawnmower guys? The lawnmower guys, because they go to these houses that are all overgrown, and if they're overgrown, either they're mentally, having a hard time, or there's a depression, which is also a mentally hard time, or it's just like right now and everyone's so overwhelmed, or they're very old and they don't have anyone young to come in, or they can't afford for the lawn to be cared for. Whatever it is, there's a plethora. Do you think there is a plethora of gifts, guapo? And so there are so many reasons this could happen. And so I follow these guys that go, and it's guys. I've never seen a girl. The only girl that I've ever seen cleaning that I'd followed for a little bit and then I stopped following her was the girl who cleaned the graves. Yeah, no, I had to follow her after she started taking the she was taking the okay, it's one thing to go and, like, honor the grave and clean it up and, do a little scooching around, replace the flowers with fresh and maybe take the soot and the mold off the tombstone, but it's another thing to go to said tombstone gravesite and take the motherfucking toys and things and trinkets that were left for the dead. Are you out of your mind, woman? That's when I said goodbye. I said goodbye, Charlie. That's a Russian expression, apparently, where it's like, get out of here. Goodbye, Charlie, I said. So, yeah. So, anyway, all the guys that I follow, they clean up lawns and they're very sweet. And then they put it on fast forward. I don't know. Maybe if it's really good for my like OCD, my ADHD, my dyslexia, all the things that I struggle and suffer from, like a lot of us do. I think watching someone clean up an entire yard, cut down some weeds and trees, and I don't know why it's ASMR for the OCD people, because I don't like it when the ladies do the thing like that creeps me the fuck out. I don't want you whispering fucking some weird and then like scratching the mic with their fingernails. Scratchy, scratchy, scritcher, scratcher. No. You know what I like? Clean that lawn, boy. Get that lawn. Joe Dierte. Clean it up, Joe. So anyway, I don't have a bad algorithm, I don't think, but I do scroll. Is it doom scrolling though? If I'm looking at cakes being decorated and nails being painted and uh, I mean, I suppose it's doom if it's just distracting me from like real life, like, well, Jessica, that depends. Do you have anything to do? Or like the young comic asked, do you just do nothing and wait for those two shifts to come for those for those nights that you bartend? You think about it. And I've been thinking about it long and hard. There's that ASMR. I've been thinking about it long and hard. Stop it. But I've been thinking about, first of all, as we've discussed in the past, is time even real? Who even knows? What time is it? What time is it? It's time to get set. Okay, so it's time for me to tell you that speaking of the JOB, I told my manager guy this week that every time he tells me about the profits or the loss or we're almost at projection, whatever that even means, I don't know. And I don't care to know. That's the thing. Like, I don't care to know. I'm not in charge and I'm not getting any of that money. And I don't get a kickback if the fucking place goes, hog wild. No. So I don't give a fuck. And guess what? Because I listen to Richard Cheese Station, as I've often bragged about Richard Cheese, Tenacious D, Weird Al. I'm really into the parody and the original Very Strange songs. So, like myself, I enjoy the alty, silly, but maybe you're thinking about things at the same time, art. Yes, I burped. I told you it's authentic. We don't do editing. We don't do chat. You know his name, her name, their name. Whatever you want it to be, it can be. Whatever will be, will be. The future is ours. You see? But not anymore. Sarah, Sarah. So there's a song on this playlist that comes up on the Richard Cheese Station, and it's called Fuck This Job. And it's in the tune of a country western. And I don't know, it might be a real song that's parodied, but I don't know country western enough to know. However, yes, I'm going to tell you some of the lyrics of this particular song. So, it looks like, it starts out with like kind of like a sketch, how comedy albums sometimes will have like a little skit or a sketch beforehand. So you hear like a woo woo of like a work bell, goo goo, and then you hear a hey, Lucas, you're gonna be late for your shift again. And then Lucas, I guess is the singer, he says, "Oh yeah, well, I don't care. This whole company can slob my knob." And then it goes, "This whole company can slob my knob. Fuck this job." And it's fuck your profits and fuck your loss. Fuck you bitches and fuck your boss. Like it's so good. Fuck you on the in the mail room too. Guy, fuck you, Linda. At the front desk too, guy in the mail room. Fuck you. This old company could slob my knob. Fuck this, fuck this job. Fuck all y'all and fuck this job. Fuck all y'all. And I don't usually like a country song, but wow, something sat really familiar and beautifully with me with that particular tune. Yeah. So I don't know if it was a mistake that I sang that to the management, but I told him, I said, every time you tell me about your profits or your loss or you're almost at projection, all I can think of is this old company could slob my knob. Fuck all y'all and fuck this job. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh." And I was like, "Oh." And then I went home that night and I thought, well, I wonder if that gets a write up. Because 3 write ups and I get to leave. So we'll see. I haven't gotten any so far yet. Anyway, write ups, demerits, familiar with it, principal's office, been there, done it. Main office at the but what the fuck is the matter with me? I'm not stroking out. At the business I work at, sure, I've gone in. Have I been yelled at and told things from the person in charge? Of course I have. Who has not, you brown nosers? I hate a movie. I tried to watch it. Oh, I so hated it so bad. You know how I give you some reviews? Well, here you go. 13 minutes in, we're going to give you a little review. Me and my multiple personalities. Here we go, Sybil. Let's go. Now, as you know, or if you don't, hello, my name is Jess Wood. And if you're really a formal friend of mine, you can call me Jessica. But also, I have been doing stand-up comedy for the last 25 plus years. Now, I preface this story with that because I started to watch a movie that was made, I think it came out last year, called Is This Thing On? With Sir Bradley Cooper and Sir Will Arnett. And let me say, first of all, so boring. Oh, I hate it so much. And it's about comedy. It's about this dude, and he's like, "Oh, my marriage is kind of crappy." And listen, if you this is not a spoiler, and if you're feeling like you want to watch it, maybe you fast forward through this, but I don't think this is a spoiler because this is how they advertised it. This guy's kind of, well, my marriage is breaking up. I'm kind of sad and I'm kind of high tonight I'm kind of stoned and I'm going to go try stand-up comedy. I'm going to sign up so I can get a free drink. And first of all, lies, all these lies. No, the open mic at the Comedy Cellar. No. That many people, like a real audience at an open mic? No. Them giving you a free drink even though you haven't paid anything for an open mic? No, like, ugh. And all these people I knew were in it. So I was like, who the fuck is consulting them? And why didn't they tell them this isn't realistic? This isn't real. This hasn't, and the camaraderie that they have with him as soon as he comes in. I mean, listen, I'm not a white cis male. However, he just got there the first night. He fucking bombs out on stage with his open mic set. And then he's like, hey, what's up? And he's friends with everybody. He's sitting at the table. And if you know, you know. But if you don't, here, I'll tell you, at the Comedy Cellar, there's a table at the back of the Olive Tree Cafe, which is the restaurant above, which the owners own the whole thing. But like the cool comics all sit at the back table, and you're very blessed and so cool if you get to sit back there with them and hang around. But they make it look like it's just like one night at the open mic and I'm back with the old comics and we're hanging out. And I was like, you know what? These motherfuckers. So I did not enjoy. Now I don't know if maybe Joe Schmo or Jackie Schmo would watch, or Joe Dierte or Jackie Dierte would watch this movie. This thing on, uh, and think, well, this is a fantastic movie. But I don't think that Joe America liked it because it came and it went like, I don't know, like who's someone who, like Richard Pryor's father. He came and he went all in one night. Um, so yeah, it was terrible. But and I'm not going to leave you with a bad review because goddesses know I want a good thing in the air. I want positivity in the air floating around me. So I'm going to leave you with this good review and then I'm going to go on to the next thing. Okay, Hunting Wives. Oh, shit, yeah. Fucking yeah, yeah. Okay, what? Hunting Wives? What? Hunting Wives? What? Hunting Wives. Okay. I miss Chappelle's show so badly. So, Hunting Wives. Ooh, did I say it? Enough times, Hunting Wives. So that is a fantastical show, along with DTF St. Louis, which I love that DTF St. Louis on HBO makes you wait and have appointment television. It doesn't let addicts like myself just binge, because I will. Even the fucking movie I was watching, is this thing on? I was watching it before I came to you. I was eating some dinner and I was watching it before I came to you. Yeah. Oh, I'm drunk already. I haven't drank in decades. But I was watching it before I showed up here, and I watched it all the way 120 minutes. That's an hour and no, that's whatever that is. It's a long fucking time. An hour, no, I stayed an hour 20. I still have 40 minutes left. I didn't even finish the fucking thing. I could come back next week and be like, "Oh my God, is this thing on? It made up for the whole thing at the end," but I don't think it will. I just don't think so. And they have a comedian lady aggressor who's like, we should have sex. We should have sex. And I'm like, when has that ever happened as well? Like, I found it very unbelievable, even though based on a true story, based on a story of a man who I guess was breaking up with his wife and he felt really bad and he went and did some stand up and he thought, oh, this is nice. I shouldn't make fun because stand up saved my life from being a heroin addict and being a homeless person. So, thank you, stand up. Thank you, stand up. Gling. All right. On to the next. On to the next. So I went out on Tuesday night, did a little comedy. A couple of girlfriends came, met up with me. Speaking of open mics, and um, my besties, a couple of the besties were around, Juliet and Alexis. Now, Juliet, as you know, is masseuse, amazing, fucking brilliant, very talented. Alexis, beautiful, spiritual, model, gorgeous, carries herself, speaking. It's very enlightened, very brilliant. Okay, so we end up bringing a guy out with us from the comedy show, another comedian, and he uh, towards the end of the evening, he looked at the three of us and he assessed us and he looked at us up and down and he said, "Ah, I get it. I get it now. I get it." And we said, "Well, what do you get, man? What do you get?" And he looked at me and he goes, "You're the comic, so you're the mind." And then he looked at Juliet and he said, "You're the masseuse, so you're the body." And then he looked at Alexis and he said, "And you're the spirit, because you've just been talking to me about spirituality and spiritual things, and you made me go lean against a tree and ground out, and you talked about energy all night. So he said, mind, body, spirit. And we all looked at each other and we said, yeah. And then I kind of shrugged and I said, well, I kind of thought more the three witches from Macbeth. But yes, mind, body, spirit. Let's call that because that's beautiful. And ancestors, are you listening? Ancestors, are you listening? And also, I was talking shit about my dead dad, and the lights went out on stage. And I said, Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? Because you know that I'm made up of burps and silliness and movie references and song references and art stuff. Speaking of art stuff, shout out, big shout out, huge shout out, large shout out. We'd like that and some Jamaican. Okay, so I do all this horn saxophone. Yes, there was a saxophone player on Tuesday night as well when we all went out, mind, body, spirit, and our friend Keenan. And we went and there was a band, and I asked, is there going to be a saxophone? And when we got there, saxophone. Bleeding gums, anyone? So, um, so we okay, I just got so thrown by looking at my note. Sometimes I shouldn't look at my notes because I'm on a roll, I'm on a rip, I'm ripping through, and then it just what saxophone, and then I'm all and then forget about it, it's over. So we went and we heard music, and then we all went home, and it was fantastic, huge shout. But my big shout out, huge shout out, horns for my girl, Shannon Corrigan. Shannon Corrigan, 1982, 1984. Oh, fuck. I don't remember her tag at this moment, her Instagram, but if you go on mine and you see Shannon, there's only two, and there's Love West Coast and Corrigan. So, Corrigan, I would follow both of them, actually. They're fucking tremendous. So different. Anyway, Shannon. Now, if you've been listening to me for more than a year, you may have heard last year's episode where I talked about going to an art show, a group art show in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, where my friend Shannon, yes, Shannon Corrigan, won. She won that motherfucker. She won that bitch. She won that shit. Ticky ticky tick tick tack tick tuk tuk ba 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 choo. Yeah. She won. Of course she did. She's a fucking brilliant painter. She's a brilliant artist. She's a brilliant collage with all the things that she does. Fuck brilliant. And hilarious. Oh my God, I met a guy so she had her show, her solo show, Solo Dolo last night from the show that she won last year. She got to put together a solo show for last night that I got to go to out in Greenpoint. And it was beautiful. And it was so nice to see her paintings only filling up the space. And she sold a whole bunch. And I'm just so proud of my gosh darned friend. I just have to say, I'm so darn proud of her. So if you look at my stories on IG, you might see some of her paintings in there. Also, she's fucking hilarious because I met a very sweet guy that used to work with her at the bar. He was her bar back, and he was late all the time. So one time he was late. She reminded him last night. She goes, yo, you remember when I made you leave and go buy a clock? And I told you, don't come back here until you buy a fucking clock because you're so late all the time. You know, you don't own a clock. And so it was hysterical. We were all laughing. And he said his new boss told him to buy a clock. You know, because people, it's very hard to change. We're very, very stuck in our ways, good or bad. It doesn't, but if you're not looking at your things and if you don't want to change things, then you won't. If you want to, you will. I mean, it's up to you whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, if it works for you, if it doesn't work for you. So for me, I knew what wasn't going to work for me yesterday was even though Thursday I had gone out to Coney Island because I had this fucking pull. I don't know if any of you witches or warlocks feel like this, but I bet you do. I was feeling this pull, this fucking pull that I can't even explain to you, where I needed to put my feet in the ocean. Put your feet in the ocean. Get your goddamn feet in the ocean, woman. Like, I don't know why. I don't think I've ever had this kind of pull. I think I've always lived kind of close enough to the beach. Well, I was a year and a half in Albuquerque without the beach, so that was a little weird. But I did put my feet in the Rio Grande, which not so fantastic. But the pull to get me there got me there on a 36-degree day on Thursday. My girl Jules, she met me down at the fucking beach. We brought towels, we took our shoes and socks off, we put our feet in that ocean. It was unbelievably magical. And was it magnesium with magic, with the sea, with the goddesses, with Yama, Yama Maya, and Gaia, and all the women and the creatures of the sea. Just oh, and I am a Capricorn in my sun sign. However, the Capricorn is a sea goat, a goat. That's me up here with a fishtail. I know. So it was amazing. So we did that on Thursday night. Then Friday, yesterday, I saw my seniors, and you know how I love my seniors. Ooh, Lord. And I also knew, for all you witches who are screaming at the radio right now, the radio on your AM dial, on your FM dial. You're tuned into WWWOD. So it was a new moon Pisces on Thursday. It was a grounding exercise. It was a let's get in touch with the ancestors and the spirits and mind, body, spirit, three witches of Macbeth. It all seemed to work out. It was perfect. So then yesterday I went to the seniors to my storytelling, and usually I had to lead yesterday because the lead lady was gone. And I've led a few times before, so I really like it. But I had to come up with a theme for us to talk about for stories. And you like to keep it light, and you want to, again, it's like here, you want to get everyone's mind off of what's going on out there, all the noise, all the garbage, all the fear, the worry, the future tripping, all the stuff that we have constantly monkey minding up our little brains, right? So I had thought of things like, oh, your first crush, or your first laugh, or what was what struck you as funny as a little kid. Like, I had these things that I've often been prompted with for writing or for storytelling. And then I walked outside in Coney Island yesterday, and the sun was shining so bright, and the birds were chirping so loud, and the flowers, like the tulips, were just fucking coming up. Like, you could see the green shoots were just like, oh, yes. And it was so inspiring. And I thought my whole body just felt like art. Art. What does art mean to you? What is art to you? What do you do that's artistic? Are you an artist? Do you want to be an artist? What strikes you? And then I realized where I go for my storytelling with my seniors, they're all artists. I have two jewelry making women. I have a seamstress, a needlepoint, a knitter, a guy who builds boxes and then lines them with all these different cloths and things. I have a painter, a batiker, a tie-dye. Like, you cannot fucking believe, I can't even make this up. I have a dozen seniors that I work with every month who are so unbelievably artistic, and yet all I ever come and do is facilitate them to speak and to tell their art and to have their memories and joy. Yesterday, it was all about art. And can I just tell you, every single one of them participated, even the one lady who doesn't really speak English very well, very, very thick Russian, and embarrassed. She's not a thick Russian. Her accent is thick Russian. And she's quite like self-conscious of her talking. And it's so cute because the other senior's like, no, you're great. We can completely understand you. We could totally understand you. Keep going. Keep going. No, 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 no. Don't stop. Keep going. Because, everyone's really, really supportive of one another to continue to talk, to continue to create, to continue to read, to go to hear music, to go to plays. They're so supportive of one another. And I'll tell you, every single person in that room shared a story yesterday, and didn't just share a story, but shared this place inside of them that they felt was the most magic, special, quiet, grounded place. Their place where they did their art or they watched their art or they listened to their music. It was so beautiful. I had one woman, one of the women who's a jewelry maker. Oh my God, she said to me, my influence has always been Disney movies and Mad Magazine. And I thought, well, there you go. I mean, there you go. If we pay attention, art is everywhere. And we can be inspired at anything, everything, all the time. Even that fleck of dust that flew down past the camera at the beginning of this show, it was gorgeous. It looked like a glint of gold coming down onto my keyboard. Why? Art, magic. Yeah, it exists. Huh. Dur. And listen, I was going to tell you some subway stories, but I don't have a lot of time. So I'm just going to end with the one that I thought was beautiful. Speaking of magic. So I get on the train on Thursday to go out to the beach to put my feet in the water. So I'm already feeling pretty high vibe magic, right? And I've got my backpack. It's got my sleepover stuff. I've got my book. Now I'm reading The Handmaid's Tale right now. I don't know why. I know it's not the best timing, but it's so beautifully written. And I didn't watch the show. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Don't tell me. So I'm on the train and it's a crowded commuter train and there's a lot of kids coming from school and there's a lot of adults coming from work. Now, there's a grandma in a two-seater chair with two little girls, one who looks to me about like 9 and the other who looks to me about like 5 and or 4 or 5. And the 4 or 5-year-old is on the grandma. She's got these great braids with the beads and the clicky beads. And her sister has this cute beanie on, and her older sister's reading, and I'm reading. And then at a certain point, I kind of move myself out of their way. And I feel like the littler one might want to get up and, I don't know, hold on to the pole or, they get really, they got a lot of energy. So I smiled at the grandma and the grandma smiles at me. And I said, I just wanted to give a little room. And she said, of course. And I said, great. And the older one stopped reading and looked at me. And I looked at her and I said, hey, you're doing a great job. And she said, what? And I said, you're doing a great job. Look at you reading. I imagine you're a great big sister. And the grandma said, she is. And the little sister's just looking at me. And I said, are you reading? And she said, I don't know how to read. And I said, well, you will know how to read soon because your big sister probably wants to help you learn how to read, don't you? And the big sister said, yeah, I do. And I said, well, I'm reading a book right now, but I don't really need to tell you about it. But do you want to tell me about what you're reading? And the big sister lit up and she said, yes, I am reading a story about 5 friends and they are all traveling together and they end up somewhere where there are all these magical fairies. And I thought to myself, well, I would really like to be a fairy also and be able to fly. And I said, well, isn't that so beautiful that you can read and you can imagine yourself to be anything in the world that you want? That you can imagine yourself being a fairy and flying around. You can imagine yourself dueling a dragon. You can imagine yourself climbing a mountain. All these things are available to us if we're reading. A reading rainbow. It's true though. I did that. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow. That's another song that's on my parody list. But really, I hope that everyone has a good book or at least a good pamphlet to read out there. If you're doing your art, you're doing something that you're inspired by, that you're passionate about, then you are absolutely doing the right thing. If you're not hurting yourself or hurting anyone else, you are killing it right now. And I am so proud of you. If no one told you this week, I'm telling you, I am proud of you. Get out of your comfort zone. Do some shit that you're scared to do. It always is worth it, but just doing what you can is also really, really, really good. So, what have we learned this week? Just talk to strangers. Just be kind to yourself. Practice being kind to yourself. Practice quieting that negative voice and allowing the good things in, let go of the bad things, let the good things in. And I'm so glad that you were with me today. And I'm so glad that you are able to hear this or watch this or share this. I love it when you share this with your friends, because when I hear that someone else has turned someone else onto this show and they're like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? Oh my God, I needed this. Oh my God, I love a laugh. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah. And next week, I have more stuff to tell you I couldn't even tell you this week. I know. And oh my God, it's a lot about editing my album. Yeah. Whew. Talk about self-care and being kind to yourself, watching yourself and saying, listen, Joanne Dierte, you are great. All right. I love you so much. And I love you for watching. And I love you for listening. Share the show. Oh, and if you haven't, go and give it a 5 stars and a review on whatever podcast platform that you listen on. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and like and subscribe. Ow. Hey, UK. Hey, UK. All right. You always come at the end. But you know what? The end is better than none. And last week, the story about me not knowing that I didn't turn off my camera. What a hoot. What a silly goose I am. Honk, honk. Yes. Yes, please.